You're watching Lansdowne Raw, the voice of the fans. Troy Parrott in unstoppable form, a nightmare start for Keith Andrews at Brentford, and of course we've got the full roundup of how our boys in green got on during the Premier League opening weekend. Welcome back to Lansdowne Raw, and it's live. I'm Martin Prendergast, joined by Connor McAvoy as we catch up with the Raw faithful and another live show of Lansdowne Raw. Thanks for you to watch. Thanks for those who already joined us and made comments already. Fantastic to have you join us on a Sunday evening, where we're going to catch up with obviously Obig as well. We've got lots and lots of comments already coming in. A bit of a debate going on about James McLean for some reason. But how are you getting on, Connor? You well? Busy weekend for you? Busy day for you?
Yeah, busy actually. Busy weekend. Plenty of football on. A bit of adjustment, getting back used to it again. Actually, it felt like it only finished a couple of weeks ago, and then now getting back into the swing of things already with the madness abroad. But yeah, it's been a good weekend. Today was another good day for Irish players. Lots of goals, lots of moments of madness. Enjoyed watching Arsenal United earlier, which was, even though United lost, it was an entertaining watch. But I'm good. How are you doing?
Yeah, well, good, thanks. Yeah, I was at a 0-0 draw yesterday, Enfield Town, but nice to get a point on the board. But yeah, that was my non-league experience for the weekend. Yeah, watched Man United and Arsenal today, so we'll have a bit of a chat about that later as well, because we're allowed to chat about Man United on this when Dave's not here. But yeah, if you are just new to the show, you're watching us for the first time, you're very, very welcome. And a little bit about us before we get stuck in. We want to hear from you, the Raw faithful, the viewers tonight. We want to get your comments, your views, most interactive Irish football podcast out there, where we want to hear from you, like on the Irish players who didn't get game time, who did, who you disappointed in their performance. Is Keith Andrews straight away under pressure after that 3-1 loss today? What's the view on Troy Parrott? Of course, we're going to chat about his 9th goal of the season, and it's only August. Is that meaning that he's going to be like the first name on the team sheet basically come September? So lots and lots of questions. We want to hear your views, of course. And we also want to give a big shout out and thank you to the Raw Plus members. Raw Plus is our subscription kind of part of the channel, I suppose, where you get extra content for $4.99 a month. Loads of you have already subscribed to that. So thank you for your support. It does mean the world to us, helps us grow the channel, helps us kind of come up with more and more ideas and more content and things like our live shows and our interviews with special guests and things. So really, really appreciate that. And you can still subscribe. This is our free show tonight, of course, where we want to hear from the Raw faithful, but you can still subscribe. And if you do, we've got an extra incentive for you to do so. You can get a win a Roma jersey. If you subscribe to the Raw Plus channel, you will get that opportunity, obviously, to be put into the draw to win a Roma jersey if you subscribe by the 31st of August. So there you go. Nice little image there of our lad there who's... his season starts soon, doesn't it, really? I know he's still playing pre-season games, isn't he?
Yeah, he played yesterday. He started yesterday against some Saudi team. I think it was Saudi. I think Benrahma scored.
I'm messing around with the images here. Will you flip that down? Oh, there you go. Sorry, I'm messing around with it.
Oh, Jesus, what are you doing? What are you
doing? I know. There you go. Just so much, Evan Ferguson. I just love him so much.
And yeah, but hopefully he started yesterday, which should hopefully give an indication that he will start next weekend. Their season starts next weekend, and I guess it's kind of one weekend before the squad's picked. He's obviously going to be in the squad, but like it'll be 2 weekends of football before they come into the international break, which isn't a huge amount. I know he's been playing preseason games, so he's obviously fit and stuff, but nothing beats actual league competitive games where points are on the line.
Yeah, no, of course. And we will be obviously catching up later on. The format of the show is we have a chat about some of our obviously lead topics, like so, for example, Keith Andrews.
And also, Martin, I must give a shout out.
Yeah, go on.
I want to give a shout out because I actually don't do it in the show enough. I don't do it at all. If you're looking for a roundup of the weekend's action of Irish lads abroad, of standout moment stuff, make sure you check in the description. My article with the Irish Times is going to be put in the description in about 10 seconds. I just forgot to put it in. So if anyone wants a roundup of more stuff and more lads that are around the world, because we don't get to go through everything on the show, unless usually some people ask about it. But yeah, so make sure if you want a more in-depth look at stuff of the weekend and little insights from the weekend, make sure you give that a check.
And make sure you give Connor make sure Connor gets a follow off you on LinkedIn as well. Make sure LinkedIn, that's another one we were on part of. Also on at Rep Tracker on X, and I'll give ourselves a follow as well, and obviously Lansdowne Road on Facebook. So all of our social channels, all in the links, obviously, for the show. And again, we want to hear from you this evening and let us know your views. But a fantastic place to start, I suppose, is Troy Parrott. It's flying form at the moment, and a real positive, isn't it, going into September's qualification campaign? The start of that, obviously, taking on Hungary and then travelling away to Armenia. Really looking forward to the games now. We'll have the squad announced within the next couple of weeks, I suppose. We'll be having lots and lots of content, lots of shows and debate about that. We'll do a probably squad predictions show ourselves. But this man is a certainty to be in it. Troy Parrott, 9th goal of the season already, and it's only August. That's incredible. Question, though, for the Raw Faithful, and you put it to me, Connor, before the show. Is it too easy for him over there? Does he need to? Or the transfer window is still open. Are people, in England perhaps taking notice of this and thinking, Jesus, we've got to take a gamble on him, haven't we?
Yeah, it's mad. He's been absolutely outstanding to start the season. You can't doubt that. He's scored every single game he's played in. So he's played, I don't know this. He's on 9 goals. I think it's probably 6 games or something he's probably played between all competitions, or 7 or 8, whatever it is. But anyway, he's been absolutely outstanding. Some of the goals he scored have been top class finishes. Obviously, he's been very cool from the penalty spot midweek when he came on off the bench. The tie was already won, but it shows his quality. The goal today was a superb finish, and I know he's only played 2 games in the Eredivisie, but he scored in both games. Scored 2 last week, didn't he? And the second goal last week was an unbelievable finish. Today's goal was a lovely finish again. You just wonder though, because the thing is, the Eredivisie, I hate it, it's just not the highest standard of the league. It's a good league, but the teams you play at the bottom level of that league are miles and miles off the top teams. And when you're playing against your Ajaxes and your PSVs and your Feyenoords, it's good level to play at. But there's a lot of teams in that league you're kind of well down at the bottom, and they're not of the highest standard. And you just wonder, has he outgrown it? Because I know it's only, you think, he's only been at AZ 1 year, and it's only been a couple of games at the new season. And the thing is, when you're playing in the Conference League qualifiers, he played against Vaduz last week and teams from Finland before, which are well off that level, or well off even Eredivisie level, you'd probably think. So it's not like we can take too much on the goals, but he still is scoring. What is next from his question, though? Because he's not going to stay at AZ forever. His goal isn't to stay at AZ forever. It's about to go on to bigger and better things. And it's just whether, does he need another year of development there and maybe finishing his top goal scorer in the league, or is he ready to make that jump to that next level? Even if you look at Sesko, obviously he's not going to go to Man United, but if you look at Sesko's gone from Leipzig to United after scoring 13 goals in the league. Even when Højlund went, he went from 15 goals he scored in Serie A, and he went to United. So a lot of young strikers go without even being, you probably say, ready being. This kind of backfired for a few of them. But I'd say a lot of Premier teams are looking at him. Brentford would probably be looking today. I know they were missing Damsgaard, we'll go on to it, but they could do it, a striker to replace Vissa and Mbuemo. Your Wolves could probably do another striker to play alongside Strand Larson. Who else? Leeds would be looking for a striker. Another one up in Sunderland as well. Burnley, I know Foster's, he runs about, but maybe Troy Parrott mightn't suit that sort of team. But yeah, it's weird, Martin, because it's do we want him just to score and keep scoring, and then come into the national team, but taking a massive step up in quality when you're going to play your likes of Portugal? Or do we want him to go to maybe a Premier League team and he might struggle a bit to adjust, because it's going to be a massive step up in quality? Because the thing is, I don't know, I can't remember if someone could probably put in the comments who they're playing in the Conference League playoff round. If they don't qualify, it's going to be there's going to be a very hard reason to see him stay there, because there's no European football. But if they're in the Conference League, they could go all the way maybe and win the whole thing. I know Crystal Palace are going to be in it, who are obviously a good side, but they could get very far in that, and they got very far in the Europa League last season. And you've seen last season when he made that step up when they played the likes of Spurs, he was absolutely outstanding. So it's he's ready. He's shown he can make that step up, but can he do it at a week in, week out basis, not just your European games every so often?
I'd be very surprised, given the transfer window's open for a couple more weeks, if there's not teams sniffing around him, because of the goals. Like you said, other players have moved and scoring 12, 13 goals in a season. He's doing it already. Yes, the level's there, but with all due respect to Scottish football, people can go up there, can't they, and score 20 goals quite easily. If you're a top level player, in Scotland, you'll score loads of goals playing for Celtic and stuff, for example. And that's something, in comparison to Troy Parrott, Adamida, he's not absolutely flying the same as Troy Parrott is now. And the other thing I think the benefit for Troy at the moment will be, Evans' delayed start to the season just with playing in Italy and Serie A starting over there, of course. So I would not be surprised to see him back in the Premier League just because the profile's all there. And, every manager from the opening weekend of the Premier League have all been asked today about their, are you done in the transfer market? Which they're never going to say, yes, we are. But, they've got to be looking and the movement of players and things like, you do think of like Eze is probably going to go from Crystal Palace. There seemed to be a big thing today, didn't there, of him saying goodbye to the fans. A bit of controversy as well. I want to come on to that later, actually, because it was quite funny with Gay and how Sky analysed all that and Roy Keane's view on it. But, I just think it's just very, very interesting and challenging for these lads, how they're going to, how they're going to get going with it.
Well, I have a question for you,
moving.
But when you look at this with Parrott, I think if he's going to go to the Premier League, the most likely thing maybe is go to a Leeds or someone of that or quality, or Brentford. Brentford won't give, but it looks like they might struggle a bit, or they could struggle a bit. If he goes to a Leeds, say went to a Leeds, and even if he went for 20 million, 25 million, they're going to be struggling, and it's chances are going to be few and far between. Yeah. Is he better off staying at AZ for another year and maybe trying to finish a top goal scorer in their division and then go on to bigger and better things rather than maybe making the move now? Because it is a very important move for him, because he still has some sort of question marks over his head. Is can he make it at the top level? We all know he can make it at that level just below the very top. Can he do it at this next step up?
I think he should stay. I mean, I'm just saying, I think clubs will be looking at him because of the profile, like I said, and scoring goals. But I think he should stay because I think him scoring goals there is the equivalent of either doing it in Scotland for me, and and he's not. So he's going to be in the Ireland squad without a doubt. You've got the timing of the qualification campaign is key. We've got 6 games before January. He does really well in those games. Ireland perhaps qualify for the World Cup or reach the playoff in March. He could look to move in January then. But he'll have had all that. It'll be brilliant for Ireland if he's had loads and loads of goals being scored in Holland and stuff. So I wouldn't want him to go, and I want him playing. I want our lads all to be playing, whatever level they are, and that's where I can see it. But if he's on the verge of being top scorer on the back of it, he'll get a move in January then, and that's at the end of the qualification campaign, hopefully. So
yeah, I think he could be one though. I think he'd be one that we will qualify for next summer, and he could go to the World Cup next summer, and he could be absolutely outstanding. And then all the interest even goes 10 times as much. Like, it's mad because you could be as good as you are at club level, and sometimes clubs just don't take the gamble on you. And then when you go do it in an international tournament, when it's the pressure's on, and you kind of become, even though there's a lot of players that have massive international tournaments, and then they get the big move at club level, and then they really struggle at club level. So it'd be interesting if you went and maybe if it was, he'd have to go next summer and tear up the World Cup. It doesn't, not maybe tear it up, but like, you know what I mean, do really, really well. And everyone's like, remember what Jeff Hendrick done in Euro 2016, and everyone's like, how is this guy so good at football? Like, so yeah, so it's mad. I do think then the World Cup next summer could be massive for his club future.
Yeah, no, exactly. And you can just have a tournament as well in you that you just outperform and come on the radar, and that's it. It can just, World Cups are very funny as well, like that. I was actually talking to someone yesterday, and they were telling me Scalacci, I think he scored 7 goals in total for Italy. Don't quote me on this, but the kind of stat is, the kind of generalization of the stat I'm saying is he was top scorer in the World Cup in 1990, and he hadn't even been capped, I don't think, by Italy before leading into it, or very few caps. But he only scored 7 goals for Italy in his career, but most of them were at the World Cup. I think there's a few players who've done that, just scoring at World Cups or major tournaments, and they never do anything again, basically. So it can just happen. I mean, yeah, look, you just spoke about Jeff Hendrick then, and the links. I think back to 2002 World Cup, he was out of contract, Gary Breen, and he was linked with everybody, wasn't he? So I'm a lot older than you, though, Connor. So I'm reminiscing here. Yeah. But yeah, fantastic for Troy, and a fantastic start for Troy Parrott, and hopefully long may that continue, of course. Thanks so much as well for the over 500 of you on a Sunday night watching this, and I know that there is a bit of a distraction, isn't there, in are Oasis in Dublin tonight? So any of our Dublin
they're in they're this weekend.
But you know, you can, if you've got the alert on your phone and you're at Oasis, just flick it on and have a listen to
Leave a
us
like
as well.
and leave a like, and that's what you have to do.
Exactly.
Gives the extra view.
Incredible footage of that. Yeah, I seen who was I see was that it? Stephen Elliott, former Ireland player, so he was at it, but I'm sure lots of lads are at it.
Peter
Peter
Crouch was
Crouch, I
there.
think, flew over. He flew over, didn't he? He left the coverage of
Yeah.
the match yesterday or something. But
I think that was
we
just
will come on and have a
his,
little bit of a gimmick, was it? We
Yeah.
will chat a little bit about Sky's coverage because I've seen a few people, obviously the Premier League back, and although we are very eccentric about focus more on Irish football, of course, but I think some key little things I want to have a chat with just to get your views again on the Sky.
A good one
coverage
for the
as to what
comments.
you're
Yeah,
talking
it'll be a
about.
good one for the comments about all they think about that.
Yeah, because we were saying before the start of the show as well, you know, the half time of the Arsenal Man United game, you know, the pundit in the tunnel, he's having a chat with Odegaard at half time. I found that really, really strange. And then, as I said earlier, Roy Keane was analysing and quite critical. We do have a Roy watch on this show, of course. Big supporters of Roy, aren't we? Dave's here as well, biggest one of the lot. But he was saying about, you know, managers coming on now at the end of the game and having to go over to the fans and high-fiving everybody and all this stuff. Very good little comments from Roy, I thought, quite entertaining. But generally, though, with Sky, what's your views on the coverage? Have you watched it today? You getting a bit fed up of it? They've done a lot of new kind of changes, haven't they, with it's very laid back now, relaxed. No one's in a suit in the studios anymore. Very, very chilled and all sorts going on. But yeah, I thought Roy was quite good value today.
Yeah, he was all right. Honestly, he didn't. But I do think some of the stuff he says about he's a bit ignorant as well. He's saying, "Oh, you know, they have to win, they have to win, they have to win." Like it's just like you can't just have that. You can't have that attitude forever. Like, or you'll never end up winning anything again if you just stick with that mindset. But yeah, it was decent. I enjoyed it. I watched most of it. I didn't watch the pre-match. I watched the post-match stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And obviously, we did have an Irish manager in action today. Keith Andrews' opening game as the manager at Brentford, lost 3-1 to Nottingham Forest. Chris Wood's got 2 goals. I had him in my fantasy league team, and then I took him out and put in Haaland. So, but still, I suppose. But I did have him in at one stage. But yeah, I've seen that. But yeah, Brentford losing 3-1. Kelleher conceding 3.
Usually
not a great start.
Usually when you lose 3-1.
Yeah, I know that. But yeah, but he wasn't at fault for anything, was he? Like he couldn't get to any of those. I mean, the pass for the third goal was an exceptional pass, wasn't it? Great move for that. I mean, just generally on the football and the standard of it, I've been more interested in this open weekend than I have for years, to be honest. And I thought just there's been a change in my view in football, and just they're more on the front foot now and just a bit braver. It's less kind of slow. Like it seemed quite entertaining today. So some great goals, some really good football going forward. Like, everyone seemed to be on the front foot. Yeah, the Chelsea one as well. I mean, that was a bit controversial, wasn't it? On that one, the disallowed goal. But you know, yeah, tough start though for Keith Andrews. I thought back to Roy Keane and the coverage of it. You know, they did try to tee him up.
He didn't
to be negative, but he didn't. No, to be fair, and he said, "Look, he's going to find out now." And to be fair, at the end, they did say, "What's your views in it and stuff?" He said he thinks they've got enough quality in their squad to get it right. And you know, I watched the post-match kind of highlights of the kind of pundit with the manager's chat and stuff like that, and he just felt they were very naive today, Brentford. So that's what Keith Andrews said. So. It would have been a disappointing start to him because we've seen some of the footage of him working and we know what they're doing off the pitch and things like that. But you know, it needs a transfer window, I think, as well. It needs a few more bodies in there and quality. And I think they will be trusted to given time. But I was thinking I was very fearful at one stage, thinking, God, if it's like 4 or 5-0 on your opening game, that can go incredibly wrong very, very quickly. So tough start for him. Did you watch the game or just the highlights?
No, I watched a good bit of it. I watched the first half. They were dreadful, to be honest with you. They couldn't really get a foothold in the game. I don't think it was his fault whatsoever. I just think it was the players were a bit losing a couple of good massive players from last season will have a mental effect on some players, especially when you're not really replacing them. And Damsgaard as well, who was possibly one of their players of the season last year, missed the game because his wife, I think, had a baby. So yeah, that's basically 5 players. I know Kelleher was better than Flecken, but that's 5 players who started last season every single game have come out of the team. So it's going to be a big adjustment anyway. And I don't think I can't take too much from it because like you had a few people saying blaming Keith Andrews for that first goal because it was a set piece and a certain someone, even though it was just obviously bad communication by two players who were just ridiculous for doing so. But yeah, I don't think you can take too much from it as one game. Like, and people are getting over exaggerated. See, my comments are flooded with people saying, "Oh, Andrew's going to get sacked. And he's going to be sacked by full time. He's going to get sacked by Christmas. He's going to be Brentford are going to get relegated." Like, it's like, just calm down. Like, maybe he might get sacked, but you just can't just presume that already because of one game. I think that's a bit ridiculous to think that. So yeah, they weren't over. Like, Keller wasn't at fault for any of the goals. Collins wasn't at fault for any of the goals. I'm not fussed really. Andrews will respond, and as Keane did say though, he does speak. He's like, oh, he does talk a good games. Hopefully, he can back it up. So he does. He's probably secretly hoping that he fails.
I think there's a few people though like that, aren't there? Because like even Stephen Kenny gets, and any success Stephen Kenny has now, people just don't forgive and don't forget, and it's sad to see, because obviously I just like to see obviously Irish people doing well. And I want them to do well because it reflects well on the FAI, and he came through that coaching kind of pathway and stuff. I've seen they're doing a lot of work still. I've seen some clips today, and I was reading some stuff that how I think they're doing are they getting some of the young lads all together, a big group of them doing coaching sessions and something? It's
the new coaching pathway plan where
that was it. Yeah,
under 15s and 16s across the country, and a few from abroad that are eligible to come in and get like a week of training with the FAI, so the FAI can look at more players and whatever to help develop. I know it's only could be a week at a time, but it might help players be told what they need to work on if they want to get that next level. So it's a great idea. I think it'll benefit a lot of people, and hopefully it'll continue for years to come. Because there was a lot of trouble over at the start. The clubs didn't want to release players for it and stuff, but it is it's a massive positive.
Yep. No, I saw that, and hopefully that is a big thing, because we want to get these young lads in. I know we talk about obviously the senior team and everything that's going on with them, but we want to see the young lads coming through as well, especially anyone who qualifies for Ireland, of course. And one thing just on Irish football news, ticket news, you might be aware if you're thinking of planning on travelling to Lisbon for the match in October. The FAI away portal is now open. I think it closes maybe about the 29th of August. No cost of tickets is known at the moment, but if you are thinking of applying for your ticket for that, make sure you do. Sure to be demand. They're going to get 2,500 tickets, Ireland, so hopefully be able to get a good fan base over there. They will do obviously the priority levels of ticket allocation, of course, and based on previous attendance and things, but that will be on your away portal. But I always say to people say, oh, should I apply? Because I wouldn't feel that will meet that criteria. You've got to start somewhere, so you never know, you might get lucky. And if there's not great sales in Portugal, they might give extra tickets. You wouldn't know. So I would say always apply, even if you think you won't get a ticket. But
or just go to Armenia and you're signed.
Well, another way of doing it. Yeah. Well, not necessarily sound. That's not just the Armenia game.
But it's a good. It's once you get to build the base.
A good one. You would have thought so, actually. Yeah. Something like that, but a fair way of doing it now is how they've done the allocation. So right, we're gonna jump in. Are we ready to jump into Obig?
No, we have a few more stories.
No? Oh, go on.
One story that was, I think Rolling Stone or Celtic or someone put it in the comments about Dennis Cirkin. There's just been a story circulating of Dennis Cirkin is switched to Azerbaijan because his father was born in Turkey, in a region of Turkey that if you're from there, you can play for Azerbaijan. I think certain countries are like that. I think it's the same with there's a certain region in Albania if you're born and you can play for Kosovo. I believe Rakovac is eligible to play for Kosovo because of that, because I think Rudy was born in that sort of region there. But Cirkin, whatever, he's eligible for Azerbaijan. Some story in Turkey came out the other day saying that a Footy Insider, who is a UK-based source, said that Cirkin had switched to Azerbaijan, and then when I went to their website, look for the story, there was no story mentioning him to Azerbaijan. There was only something saying that Spurs might come back in for him because he's an ex-academy player there. They have like a buyback clause and stuff. But there was no mention of Azerbaijan. I've checked their socials. I put a tweet out even to ask, has anyone actually found the story? Because I can't find it, and no one can find it. So it seems like it's absolute nonsense. Maybe he might go on and play for Azerbaijan, but it just seems to be that story of that came out yesterday is mad. Like, and people are saying, why do people care? Like, if he plays for us, and I think is this reality is, Martin, I don't think we really care at all, really. Or we obviously would prefer if he played for us than not. But it's like, we just want to know whether the story is true or not, so we can like put it in the bin and like forget about it, move on, rather than it's always going to be up in the air than what it is at the moment, because we just don't know what the situation what it is at the moment. But yeah, it seems like that story, because I've seen a couple of people like have bought into it and posting articles. I've seen a few articles online, and I just think it's nonsense from what I read. That made up, it seems like a made up story where someone just pretending the creditor was Footy Insider when they haven't said anything on their socials or their website about it. So yeah, I think that is nonsense.
Yep. Okay. We'll try and follow it a little bit more to see if you get a response to your tweet. I'm all ears. Right. We were talking about players who, might not even ever play for Ireland. And what was the last one then?
I don't know what was
an image. That's it, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a busy weekend, but a lot of it we can go through with Ibig because
of course,
that's where the lads were.
Yep. Okay. Right. So we're going to go to Obig. This is where we will let you know, within reason, I suppose. There'll be a few errors, no doubt, as there always are. But this is our effort to let you know how the lads who feature for the senior team and probably some of the under 21s as well got on over the weekend. So we'll go first into the goalkeepers. So where to start? Queevin Kelleher obviously conceded 3 goals, 3-1 loss versus Forest. Max O'Leary's injured at Bristol City. Josh Keeley, 90 minutes, 2-1 loss versus Bradford. And Gavin Bazunu, 90 minutes and a 1-1 draw versus Ipswich. Any highlights from that? Bazunu back good again. See him.
I didn't
90 minutes.
Didn't really have to do that, and to be honest, it was a bit of a weird game. It was like it went through spells of each team having a bit of possession each, but no one really seemed to deal that much damage. He did take Sammy Smodix out of it. I don't know. Did you see the game at all? No,
I didn't know. No,
Sammy Smodix out of it when the two went for the ball. People were saying hopefully they talk at the international camp. I don't think there'll be any problem with them.
Yeah,
but yeah, and Josh Keeley had a very good performance against Bradford yesterday. Made one world class save, which is great to see that he's not gone backwards anyway at all this since keeping 2 clean sheets in the opening. But it was a bad result for Luton. But they can't win every game, and Valley Parade's going to be a tough place for all teams in League One to go to because they sell. I don't know if they're selling out at the moment, but they were selling out a lot last season. I think they were selling tickets for £2 each. So yeah, it's a tough place to go, so they'll move on. And I'm still very confident that they'll either win the league or finish second.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, yeah, I still think so. I mean, they did let me down for a bet. I did, but it's a bit annoying. But yeah, it was good. Good to see him doing well, of course, and Bazunu and Kelleher again. As we said earlier, not at fault for any of the goals. I've just sent you a quick message there. Can you throw that up in a minute? I just want to put this picture up in a minute. Can you throw it up, and we'll talk about it in a minute. But sorry, we do have no production team here, by the way. It's just
where's Dave when you need him?
Yeah, exactly. But I'm gonna give a shout out to someone very soon. But so we'll go on to the defenders. Here we go.
Yep.
Right, the defense. Here we go. Robbie Brady. I've got to start that again because I'm getting distracted. Seamus Coleman plays Monday. If he plays. Nathan Collins, 90 minutes, 3-1 loss versus Forest. Robbie Brady's obviously injured. Matt Doherty, 90 minutes, 4-0 loss versus Man City. Not the captain as you predicted. Joshua Honohan rested this week. And Jake O'Brien is playing hopefully Monday. And that's a game on Sky. Andrew Omobamidele is suspended. And Darragh O'Shea, 90 minutes in a 1-1 draw versus Southampton for Ipswich. Liam Scales, unused sub for Celtic. James Abankwah, 90 minutes in a 2-1 win versus QPR for Watford. Jimmy Dunn is out injured at the moment for QPR. Callum O'Dowda, unused sub, Ferencváros. Mark McGuinness, 90 minutes in 2-1 loss versus Bradford for Luton Town. And Ryan Manning, 35 minutes in a 1-1 draw versus Ipswich for Southampton. Aaron Cashin, 11 minutes, 2-1 win versus Blackburn for Birmingham. And Anselmo Garcia McNulty, 90 minutes and a 2-0 win versus Telstar. And Will Ferry, 90 minutes, 2-1 loss versus Kilmarnock. And that's your defenders.
Confused there, were you?
I was over at the start. I got distracted. But yeah, Robbie Brady's obviously out injured, just to let you know, for Preston. And I've seen a few comments actually talking about James McLean and Robbie Brady with his injury problems. Should be considering bringing James McLean back in for September.
Did you call him James McLean?
James McLean. I did say, and I did pronounce it as that McLean. Yeah, McLean. Yeah, I did. Jeez.
Yeah, it was a
bit of
a weird weekend for the defenders, wasn't it? It was you were very harsh on poor Jamie Coleman saying he won't play tomorrow. Hopefully he's on the bench anyway. That's the main thing.
Is that at Everton's new
no, it's at Ellen Road. Ellen Road.
Oh, it's at Ellen Road.
So that'll be bouncing on Ellen Road tomorrow. So it'd be Everton could struggle at that. I think Calvert-Lewin's back against his old club. But yeah, Omar Bamadeli missed through suspension. I didn't actually realize. I thought he was injured again. I was thinking, here we go again. But then someone commented saying that he got sent off in the last game of last season, so it carried over to this season. I'm trying to think of the other defenders. Who else? Collins O'Shea. There was who else left back? Obviously, Garcia McNulty got another clean sheet again. I do worry though if he doesn't get out of there this summer. What is he going to go from here? Because like it's another. He's at Parrott. He's not in a great league. Dave seems to say he should be called up when Dave's never watched him play. He's a very good player. I've seen a lot of him for Ireland the 21s, but like he just can't be staying there like forever. Like he's had a lot of interest from England. Basically, like the reality is he probably be better off playing the championship for his Ireland hopes rather than going to play abroad. Is an eye in the ceiling. Ryan Manning actually not start today for Southampton after their goal last week, and we came on with 35 minutes ago, but it was disappointing for that. Tronahan was rested because they're playing Longford in the Cup today, and they have a massive European tie this week. Did you see his goal last week, Martin the volley? Yeah. Heimer was there in attendance. Stephen Bradley was saying that he's been to stop an eye on Heimer about how good Josh is, and which is a good thing. It'd be great to get him more involved in the Ireland team, which is hard to know. Like, would they rather pick James McLean or Josh Honahan, especially when he's a right-footed left back? And then again, Liam Scales, I think it was just more rest for Renton because it was the cup for Celtic and they were playing Falkirk, so I think there was just no need to bring him on the 1-4-0 or something. So it wasn't not nothing to worry about him from that aspect.
Yeah. I did see. I've just sent you a video there, but we will post it on our social medias later on. But yeah, I did see a video of Darragh O'Shea having a little a song that the Ipswich fans have for him, which is pretty funny, I think. But we'll post it later on. We'll see it on our socials. Another reason for you to follow us on X at Lansdowne _pod, and also make sure you give Connor a follow as well. But yeah, keep your comments coming in because we will be getting to all of those towards the end of the show. Do want to hear from you and get your views, and especially kind of in response to what we're kind of chatting about here. But we'll move on now to the midfielders. Here we go. So Irish midfielders, how did we get on over the weekend? Jason Knight, 90 minutes in a 0-0 draw versus Charlton for Bristol City. Killian Phillips, 110 minutes, penalty shootout win versus Hearts for St Mirren. Will Smallbone was not in the squad for Southampton. Obviously, there was a bit of speculation about possible transfer with him. Jack Taylor, 72 minutes in the 1-1 draw versus Ipswich. John Joe Patrick Flynn, 22 minutes, 1-0 win versus Guingamp. And Josh Cullen, 90 minutes in a 3-0 loss versus Spurs for Burnley for captain Josh. Finn Azaz, what did he do? I'm losing track. Mark Sykes, 33 minutes, 0-0 draw versus Charlton. Jason Malumbi, 90 minutes in a 3-1 win versus Wrexham. And Andy Moran was not in the squad for Brighton, even though you picked him in your fantasy football league team. Jamie McGrath, not in the squad for Hibernian. And Alan Brown, not in the squad for Sunderland. Paulson Lowell, 90 minutes, 3-0 win versus Sheffield Wednesday for Stoke. Connor Coventry, 90 minutes in a 0-0 draw versus Bristol City for Charlton. And Melenik Ali, 24 minutes in a 2-1 loss versus Bradford for Luton Town. Joe Hodge, 87 minutes, 1-0 loss versus Valamaciao. Is that how you butcher that name?
Oh, fuck you getting distracted. Or the fuck you getting distracted for once on Finn Azaz.
Right, what was it, Finn Azaz? What did he do? We've had comments about Finn Azaz. Oh, did he? He's back.
He got a lovely assist, which is great to see him back. I think we've all been waiting for. Everyone's been a bit worried that he's going to be injured for September, but he's back with plenty of time to go. I'm guessing he'll probably start next weekend. Just obviously they never really start lads do that on their first game back, so good to see him back. He is our main man in the Ireland team in terms of creativity and making things happen, so it's massive that he's back in the squad with them over the weekend. Boston played centre half as well for the first, I think it was 65 minutes against Sheffield Wednesday, and then he went into And then he went back, and then he went to midfield, but the game was dead, and they were 3-0 up, and he couldn't really do anything because they were two teams were just a load of lads were cramping up, which was a bit of a nuisance. So it wasn't really much of a chance to really show too much in midfield. Good to see Jack Taylor's continuing to start at the moment. I know could just see whatever you call him, the boy that is re-signed from the Swedish fella. It'll be interesting to see will he keep his place or will it be the other midfielder will drop out for him. And yeah, Andy Moore will definitely go out on loan at even though you were saying about my fancy, just have him just because I respect him. He's not going to start my fancy, just start on the bench. So leave me alone. I just have him on the bench.
Yeah.
I have Obafemi on the bench as well. So it's just to use up places. It'd be good to see Cousin Will out of Southampton because sooner he gets it moved, the better. You don't want that. The thing is, it wouldn't be good if it drags on and he ends up having to stay at Southampton and he's not even in the manager's plans and he has to build from there. Was it good actually? Romeo Akachukwu, the young Irish centre midfielder Southampton scored today for their 21s and supposedly he was excellent. They're a massive fan of Romeo, so hopefully I think by the end of the season I think we'll see him play a lot of minutes with the first team. Is there any other midfielders of note that we missed out in there?
Not really, no, I don't think so.
Connor
We've got
Coventry,
obviously as the Sammy
he's
Smollett.
in the forwards. Calm down.
I know that, but I'm just saying. But when you're talking about Pinazaz and how he's so key for that kind of creative player, I think Schmodix is obviously in that little bracket as well. All right. Okay, can I move on? All right, yeah, attackers, here we go. I'll try not to get distracted. Right, here's the forwards. So Festy Abasele, 90 minutes in a 1-1 draw versus K Seraspor. Adam Eder, unused sub, Celtic in the Cup over the weekend. Casey McAteer, 4 minutes and 2-1 loss versus Preston North End. Troy Parrott, as we said earlier, 90 minutes and another goal. That's 9th for the season, 2-2 draw. Sammy Schmodix, 90 minutes in a 1-1 draw versus Southampton. Sinclair Armstrong, 10 minutes, 0-0 draw versus Charlton. And Mikey Johnson, 18 minutes and 2 assists in a 3-1 win versus Wrexham. Rocco Batta was an unused sub at Watford. Tom Cannon, 29 minutes and a 1-0 loss versus Swansea. Chidozie Ogbene, 20 minutes in a 1-1 draw versus Southampton for Ipswich. Michael Obafemi was not in the squad for Plymouth. Tyler Goodrum, 57 minutes and an assist in a 3-2 loss versus Hull. And Adomo Emaku, 11 minutes and a 3-0 loss versus Borough. There you go.
Obafemi doesn't play for Plymouth anymore. Dave, year on year, we were when he did this. He's gone back to Burnley. He's there somewhere alive.
God, yes.
But yeah, I forgot to say about I was meant to say Josh Cullen I thought he was outstanding yesterday for Burnley. I thought he was excellent. He got most chances created on the pitch, 5, covered the most distance. I thought he was excellent. First half, I thought he was one of the best players on the pitch. Burnley actually were really good in the first half, and he was the main point of it. It was playing if he was playing like the championship version of Josh Cullen, where he looks like Rodri, and then usually when he goes up to the Premier, he usually just as terrible, to be honest with you. But he was absolutely brilliant. Yes, I thought he was excellent. Someone said that Alan Shearer singled him out for criticism yesterday on Match of the Day. I don't know why. Even the Burnley fans thought he was absolutely outstanding. Everyone I know, because he does get a lot of hate from Irish fans, or not Irish fans just saying he's not good enough, but they all thought he was excellent. Yes, just it was good to see him playing against that, because the thing is that Spurs team's a very good side now under Thomas. I know it's been 2 games, but they do look a more complete outfit, and they've signed a lot of good players, so he was really good. But yeah, away onto the forwards. Mikey Johnson, 2 assists, badly needed. After we were saying about the Flamengo move breaking down, we didn't know what was next. He came on yesterday, got 2 lovely assists. Well, the first one was kind of actually Danny Ward was in that, so he should have saved his goal. But with his first touch, he got the assist, and then he got a second assist to Isaac Price, which was a lovely ball into the box. So it's good to see him showing his ability. But the problem is it's just consistency, and I'm guessing he'll probably start next week because he got the 2 assists. Usually how it goes in the championship. I don't know if I don't think they have a midweek cup game, but yeah. It was great to see him build on because he played 87 minutes during the week, and he's going to continue to get more than that next week.
Yeah, I mean, look, we need these players, playing regularly. That's the thing, and as you said, Heimer's around watching. I think the squad, there won't be too many surprises, to be honest, but because as we've said as well in the past, they're a bit like for like, aren't they? So. What about Rocco Batta, though? That's just one that kind of stood out for me.
Because he was injured. He picked up a small hamstring injury and he came back into the squad on the other day. I thought he just would have come on with 30 minutes to go. but it just never happened. I don't know what the situation. I say Rock would be very annoyed over that. I think he's probably going to be the best player before coming to the end of the season, but I do think it's just a bit. I think it's just a bit of just how the game went the weekend. Probably whoever just played in his position probably just played really well, and the manager just didn't want to change it. But I just say it's not worry about some of his ability. Will just naturally just be. He's going to be a top player. Watford are going to make a lot of money on him, so I'm not too worried about what happened. Like even like Alabida, like he didn't play the weekend, but he was like obviously he was just rested. Tom Cannon's still not scoring. Sinclair's still not scoring. But yeah, it's obviously with the Troy Parrott goal, which was good to see. But yeah, hopefully things start to pick up with our forwards, because it's kind of been a disappointing season so far. We didn't actually mention Festy. Festy played tonight. I watched the first half of that on my laptop, and he played it right back. It seems he worries when he's playing for Başakşehir. They seem to see him as a right back, and I thought he was outstanding. He was probably their best player in the first half. They drew 1-1. He made one goal line clearance that was absolutely unbelievable. I posted it on my Twitter and all, on Instagram if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I have.
It was I thought it was outstanding, and it does show. Even though he wasn't like, I wouldn't say, but like it shows. I think that with his pace and his power, he has the ability. If he's ever even caught out position, or he's ever like someone comes past him, he has the ability to make up for it with his athleticism, because he's a freak athlete that runs in the family. Obviously, you see with his sister, she's a world record power lifter, and yeah, it was great to see, because I think everyone loves Fest. He wants to see him do well, and I was a bit worried after the last couple of weeks to see what the situation would be. But he's obviously built on it. He's been all right in training. We know we were talking about Tom Cleverley with him in training, but he's obviously built on. He's done well in training, and he showed it tonight in the cup. And I don't know whether they rotated because they have the Conference League next week, the playoff round, but he's obviously shown a case for himself that he's going to be, he should be playing regularly for them, because we all know Fessi's an excellent player and he shouldn't be sitting on the bench for them. Maybe it's just because of the captain is the right back, but hopefully we'll see Fessi blossom into like the Fessi we all love this season, especially with Casey McAteer playing 4 minutes is not good at all. He was class for us in June, wasn't he, against Senegal?
Yeah.
And then Fatou's came back, and Fatou's just been really. So probably the best player, one of the best players in the championship. If he stays, hopefully he doesn't stay Fatou with them, or hopefully one of him and Casey might move on to a different club, because the two of them probably expect to start every single game in the championship if they're going to be there, and it probably wouldn't be work long, because Casey can't really play on the left, I don't think, that well compared to how he is on the right. So yeah, it gives us good options. We have the three of them really that play on the right wing, so hopefully things do pick up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously do give Connor a follow again on Rep Tracker, because you'll find out during the week of how the lads get on. I know there's a bit of League One action, isn't there? So Josh Keely's in action for Luton during the week, and we've got Celtic are in action, aren't they, in the Champions League qualification round?
Rovers and Shells, which is the big one. So he's like, fuck Celtic, really, in all honesty. Well, not fuck them. I hope they do get through, because they've Irish lads, but like just my preference of who I care about winning. I want Shells to win, and I want Rovers to win. I want it to be unbelievable. Obviously, Rovers have the very tough tie of Santa Clara, but Shells, obviously, Linfield are going to be tough, but they are deserving favourites heading into that tie. But yeah, I'm looking forward. It's going to be a big week, and then next weekend it's going to be more big matches as well, as it's our last weekend before the Ireland squad is picked, and it's the last chance for some lads maybe to impress or do something. Actually, just one that people, Corey and Daba was an unused sub for Lecce at the weekend in their first Coppa Italia game. I think they played a Serie B side. Actually, I think they got promoted to Serie A. I think this was Serie B. I think they got promoted in the first round of the cup. I wouldn't make too much of it. Like, if he's going to be there regularly, they're playing left back this season, but it's probably a hint that he's not going to start off the season as the number one left back, which rules him out of playing for Ireland. Because reality is, like, it's one league game and then the squad's picked. You're not going to make a squad off that, like, unless he's on standby.
No, I get you completely. Yeah. So that's the roundup of big, obviously, for this week, and we'll continue to follow how the fortunes of the lads, and hopefully all playing a bit more now. Especially, and best of luck to obviously the teams in Europe. And while you're here as well, we want to make you aware that we do a League of Ireland show as well. So do catch that back up on the channel. If you subscribe, you'll get notified when these shows are all coming out as well. And of course, don't forget about Raw Plus, that's our subscription channel. I've seen some comments already saying, yeah, I'm going to sign up for that. We really do appreciate your support of that because it does help us grow the channel.
Mark, what was the video? Tell everyone about the Ireland-Brazil one you posted there, because I've actually got a few comments and people saying that people have good experiences from that match. But,
the 1987 game. Yeah, we've done that on. It's part of our obviously Raw Plus channel. We do a lot of retro shows on it. So the first one, and this is actually free, so I'll give you an example of it. But this was we went through Mick McCarthy's 96 to 97. So really interesting story of that of Mick when he was appointed, the challenges he faced coming in as the Ireland manager, really young as well. You forget how young Mick was actually coming in. But that's one of the examples of what we have. But the last show we put out on the channel was about the 1987 game when Ireland won 1-0 against Brazil. Liam Brady's final goal for Ireland actually in that game. But yeah, really, really good. Great fun to go back and look at something. I mean, I wasn't at the game, but I can kind of remember it and remember kind of I've spoken to Liam Brady since about it. An incredible result in Irish football. And yeah, so it was great to have feedback from you as well. And if there is anything you want to see us do for Raw Retro or Raw Plus, let us know what you want to have a chat about and we'll do a show on it. Yeah, no problem at all. And give us your feedback as well if you're enjoying Raw Retro as well. Raw Plus, of course. $4.99, as we said. It's not an awful lot.
And you get entered in the draw.
It really does help.
Jersey.
And you get entered into that for a real Evan Ferguson shirt. There it is again. So,
no DHP.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, that's just something on that. On kits and things, you know, there's some classy little kits out this the new season as well. I mean, you know, they have been wearing some of these shirts, haven't they, in their pre-season games and things. But now I'm liking the look of some of them. Pretty cool. And there's always new kind of gear coming out, isn't there? So yeah, it's interesting. Right, we're gonna get on to your comments. Right, so we've been chatting for about an hour now, and this is where.
Before you go into the comments, did you not get me to put a photo on that you wanted to show up?
Oh, I did. Yes, yeah, but I'm going to put that up within the comments.
Just before you forget, because you nearly forgot. See?
No, don't worry about that. Big shout out to all of our Raw faithful watching this evening. Yeah, I'll do it now. But this is a good friend of mine, Irish supporter, obviously. Frank O'Connor, he sent me this lovely photo of him. He's actually watching this in America where he lives, but he's a subscriber to the Raw Faithful, Raw Plus. He's got a lot of sense, but yeah, a great lad. He goes to a lot of Ireland games, travels over to America to go to home and away Ireland games. So incredible supporter. But that's his little view there, watching us there. I think I look all right on that screen. Lovely. I wish I was there, to be honest. But yeah. Thanks for your support as always.
Hopefully, Frank will get us a free chartered flight to America next summer when we qualify.
Well, look, I mean, I'm just going to put that photo up again. I can see myself. I don't mind sleeping on that if we have. To America.
Or celebrating there after we
exactly
knock the Brits out. We'll celebrate there at pints.
Yeah. So yeah, great. Thanks for sending that over to me, Frank. Quality. But yeah, thanks for you as well for your continued support of the show and everything as well. So, and I know that he's actually applied to go to Portugal. So fair play to him.
And he's a Raw Plus member.
He is a Raw Plus member. Very sensible man. Right. Here we go. There's comments. Chatting for about an hour now. So yeah, context of this will give you a little bit of an explanation sometimes. But Harrison D, this was an early one before we even started.
Harrison.
Lads. That is now 3 assists this week for McLean James. Not McLean. I've always been a believer of selecting and playing the informed players for the national side. I've always been a fan of James McLean. Tell me, what is the difference between McLean and Brady at this current moment? Age seems to be the only argument used against McLean. Tell me what age Brady is. Well, he's actually, I looked it up, he's 33. And James McLean is actually in better shape too. So, yeah, I mean, it is a bit of a concern, in all honesty, that he's injured Brady, and we know he does have these challenges and things, but you know, not a surprise in a sense that some of these lads at that age, they do manage themselves very, very well. Like James looks after himself, he's in incredible shape, as we know. But yeah, look, is there an argument for him possibly being selected in September? I mean, he was retired by Stephen Kenny. I'm sure if he got the call, he would be back. But you know, he's done all right, hasn't he, so far? Wrexham, bit of a baptism of fire for them, but
So done all right. Like I know it's hard when, like, I think it's more of an that we're relying on saying, "Oh, we're going to call a 36-year-old up," not against him, but it's just where we are at that position. It's all older options. I don't know. I just don't think so. I just don't think, like, his assist, Harris. I don't know if you've seen his assist against West Brom. It was Kiefer Moore crossed into the box, and James McLean tried to, like, take a touch on his chest and just bounced off his chest. That's what it was. Like, it wasn't. It's one of them ones, like, how are you getting an assist for that? Like, it was like the one Downs got the assist last week for Manning, put it across the box, and Downs went to shoot, but he sliced it, but it went to Stevens, and then he got the assist. So it was one of them ones, like, it wasn't really, he didn't set up to go, I would say, but he got 2 assists with 2. There were 2 from set pieces, which he does offer a lot from set pieces. I wouldn't make an argument his set pieces are actually better than Robbie Brady's, because Robbie Brady, obviously, he has that wand of a left foot, but 9 times his set pieces hits the first man. I do think Robbie really still does offer a lot more, because he does have the legs. Like, you do see McLean, there is telltale signs he is getting older. Like, he's lost a lot of pace. I did see Fellows for the first goal West Brom scored. That Fellows did get past him with quite ease. So but the thing is, Brady's not like Brady's going to stop anyone with much more than McLean. But I do think it is being ignored. But we haven't called up 3 left backs basically with every squad, and Manning's down as a 4. But that's what a lot of lads missing, particularly wingers. That Manning stepped up or O'Dowda stepped there, and it's been missing without, like, you'd say 3 right backs, because Coleman's missed all these squads, and Doherty wasn't called up for one of them, if you remember. So yeah. I do think if Coleman's fit and Doherty's fit, it'll kind of mean maybe we might only pick 2 left backs and 2 right backs, or because obviously Jake O'Brien, I think, might end up playing right back for Everton tomorrow. So I just think maybe we just might only go with the 2 left backs of Manning and O'Dowda for the next squad. And the system we play is the 3-4-2-1, which would suit. It actually probably suits all 3, even if you put McLean in that bracket, all 3 of them quite well. But I don't think it means that you should have any rush in bringing McLean in as such. If you're going to play with one of them stepping up at wing back, with O'Dowda and Manning, and I'm guessing it would probably be Manning at this stage, because if he's done well the last couple of games for Ireland.
Yeah, I agree with you on that as well. Yeah, just Baylor then, another older player who played for Ireland, great prolific goal scorer, as you know. Baylor. Didsey got 2 goals in the first 3 games back in League One. If we are being 100% serious, Didsey is a way more impactful player than Adam Eder, and would definitely slot into the Ireland team ahead of him. I don't think that's going to be happening, is it? Well, I think Eder just gets a lot of hate, doesn't he? But
yeah,
I don't know. I think he's just, for me, he's like, he does prove it when he plays. He's confident and stuff. I think it doesn't really help him being at Celtic in a way, because the fan base is quite vitriolic. They demand so much, and I don't know how he's going to really get on there. I mean, I know he's been here a while now, but I think that just impacts him in a way. Rolling Stone, we've chatted about this earlier. Looks like Dennis Erkin is choosing Azerbaijan over us, and he also says it's only a matter of time before we start losing our players to the Faroe Islands. And then he also says James McLean getting 3 assists for a club in the National League does not warrant another call up to the Irish squad. And
Frank, the championship now, Rolling Stone. We've got back-to-back promotions.
Yeah. Frank O'Connor there. If James McLean is a big story, I worry for the games in a few weeks.
That's the problem, though. It's going to be such a massive story if he does get called up.
Oh, God,
It's going to be such a big story that we probably don't need. A lot against him. It's just, we don't need. It's just going to be such a big thing, and then you're going to have Kenny getting asked about it and stuff.
And Scuzzy says James McLean is good for Wrexham, doesn't mean he'll perform for Ireland.
And it must be. I was just on McLean as well. He wouldn't have started yesterday if Kakachi was fit. Who they spent 4 million on the summer on. He got injured. I think he got a small injury. And the thing is, when he came on against Southampton last week, he only came on because Kakachi went off with cramp. So it's not that like McLean is first choice at Wrexham. So it's kind of he's the backup left back / wing back there.
Okay, and Harrison does say, I do agree with you on this, but McLean has never let Ireland down. I know he hasn't, and I'm sure he would take a call up if he was given that as well. And Frank again just says, no surprise, not denying that he has ever let Ireland down. I mean, I don't think anyone can say that. Harrison also says, then if Brady can still represent Ireland, why shouldn't McLean? But I think they are a bit different, to be fair.
But Harris, don't forget, McLean did go and play in League Two for a while and went to League One, whilst Brady stayed in Championship all the time. It's just McLean's back in the Championship now that people are starting to saying about that. Is he wasn't playing at the level that Brady was playing at. So, like when you're at League Two, you aren't getting picked for Ireland. Even at League One, at that stage, we weren't picking League One players anymore.
Yeah. And Rolling Stone, Declan, our qualification for the World Cup next year rests solely on the broad patriotic shoulders of James McLean. It is a burden only he is fit to carry. Let's salute General James McLean.
You're a madman.
Yeah, it's mad. Yeah. And a little reminder here, like and subscribe. That really helps us out. Little comment here I did miss, but I was just kind of throwing through the James McLean kind of stuff. But Declan, here he is. He just says, didn't take Keane long to have a little dig at Keith Andrews on Super Sunday. I thought it was quite fair, to be honest. I mean, I know he got the little bit in, but you know,
he's always going to get a little bit in.
He's always, but like I said earlier, I think Keane on Sky, he's that character, isn't he? And you know, he's so old school, though. You know, of goalkeepers. He actually, I felt today, he seemed a bit aged with it today because he said the same thing twice. Like, and he didn't seem to. He said, like half time. But the goalkeeper, he did, but he's been on a cruise, hasn't he? Have you seen the clip of him?
Yeah, because of no tournament. Yeah.
But he said, like come with violence. Basically, the goalkeeper should be coming and come with violence was the phrase they used to use. And yeah, I think it was Seamus McDonough. I think used to do that as an Ireland goalkeeper coach. But but then he said that at the end again, same thing. And I thought, but
you just can't get away with that stuff anymore. You just, it's all down to like your ability these days. You can't get away with just coming up and kneeing someone in the face or in the back.
Yeah.
So he's just being stupid. Like, even though Ian Deere should have done a lot better, it still is. Kane's just being stupid. Like,
yeah. But yeah, it was interesting. I thought it was quite balanced. I think with the Keith Andrews thing overall.
Yeah, I thought it would have been a lot worse. I thought he would have mentioned the word.
Yeah, I think he'll wait though. Like he won't. He doesn't forget things. I'm sure
he'll wait. I think he'll wait for when he's actually on the Super Sunday itself, because it was the two games of Super Sunday as such were Chelsea and the United Arsenal game. I know Brentford were technically shown on Sky, but they weren't like the game that they were really analysing at halftime and full time. Yeah,
it'd be interesting together and things, because they do that, don't they? They have the lads. Sometimes the manager comes out and chats, doesn't he, by the side of the pitch. It'd be interesting to do that because I think Super Sunday next week.
But Kane only really does it when it's at Old Trafford, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Yeah. Who I can't remember who was actually Super Sunday. I think it's Man United Fulham next week. I think it's one of the games.
Yeah, it is. It is next Sunday.
Yeah. But and Forest is Palace. I think. Yeah, that was it. Right, John O'Mahony. Is it about time Mason Melia, of course, from St. Pat's, gets called up to the national team? Ferguson and Parrott must have been the same age.
It's too early. Don't be. No, it's too early.
Yeah, no, I think
no. But the thing is, like, I'm sorry to jump in, but when Parrott was getting called up at that age, and we just didn't have any other options. We had no option but to fast track these lads through. And I do believe in fast tracking lads if we see that they're clearly going to be there, but you're going to be taking a position of a lad who's probably earned the spot in the team over, like, even though Millie scored another outstanding goal today for Pats against Shells, he's showing how good he is. But like, just let him develop and let him score goals to 21s. He's going to be the starting striker for the 21s in September. There's no reason to bring him into the seniors yet. Let him go. Like, wait till he goes to Spurs in January and see if he can do something special and break in there or become a favourite there with Thomas Frank. And if he plays for the end of the season, maybe, you think, maybe could take a gamble and take him to the World Cup or something mad like that. But I think you just let him develop with the 21s for now, because it's not like it's a left back situation where we're dying for an option to break through at that highest level. But the strikers were all right. Like, just let him develop at the 21s.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, I agree with you as well. Like, I think it's a little bit different. When Stephen Kenny brought in Evan Ferguson, the physicality was there, and he could see, and you could kind of see what he was kind of trying to do. So I don't think we're in any rush with that. Our forwards are doing well, and I think I'd rather see him be absolutely prolific at under 21 level for Ireland. So yeah, I think
Yeah, and his youngest ever goal scorer. I think he was youngest ever goal scorer to player score for the 21s. Like, so it is like,
yeah,
it's not like
and again,
he's
this is going to be a big change for him, isn't it? When he comes over to Tottenham, that's a big change. It's going to be a massive upheaval and stuff.
he's
And how
going to
he's
be
going to
straight in
settle in
training with
there.
the first team. Like,
Yeah, exactly. So
the thing is, Ferguson and Parrott didn't make their senior debut for Ireland the same age as thingy because Melia's the youngest ever goal scorer to play, or youngest ever goal scorer for the 21s. He's beat Parrott's record, obviously. And trying to figure out what age Ferguson was. I think Ferguson might have been late in his when he was 18 when he made his debut. I think Parrott might have been 18 or 19 as well. So it's technically like, but you'd be saying maybe in a year's time that would kind of be the equivalent. I would say if media's going to be fast tracked through, which is more realistic. I think maybe he could in a year's time if he kicks on really well at Spurs. But yeah, I think you just let him with the 21s and let him score goals, and the massive qualification period coming up, and he should be the main man as that number 9.
Yep, yeah, agree completely. All right. TK just said no, just joined. Rolling Stone is here. Okay. William Nevin, evening lads. United let us down. Some things never change. Great weekend for the Irish lads. And then Harrison D. Parrott as the first name on the team sheet. No hope of that with this manager.
Harrison's not a fan of Heimer. Harrison doesn't like Heimer.
Oh, okay. Jack O'Connor, Jimmy Mack in the flesh for Wrexham. Completed it, mate. How brilliant is it to see him playing so well again? He's tailor-made for Heimer Halgrimsson's hybrid left wing back role. Okay. TK, did Festy Bestie play well? He played today.
He said, did he play well?
Did he play well?
Yeah, he did play well. Yeah, he played very well.
Rolling Stone, Jimmy Mack as a midfielder, not a wing back. I bet Connor watches more Irish players than anyone in our managerial setup. That's probably true, isn't it, Connor?
Yeah, it probably is true. Thing is, Heimer was there. Heimer was in Tala last week, wasn't he, for the Shells Rovers match? But yeah, I was in Tala, but I was watching it on the phone, not on the phone, sorry, on the TV, and then I was watching Boston on the laptop. So yeah, maybe you could say that I got 2 for 1, and he only got to see 1 game.
Yeah, there you go.
A good thing. That's why you have a managerial team to go to different games at once.
Exactly. Yeah. Heimer is busy pulling teeth now, says Rolling Stone. Jack O'Connor, no, David Dunn. No, Dave's not on tonight, but we wish him all the best, and he'll be back on soon, of course. We do wish him all the best. Why you got to be horrible to him all the time?
Because he never comes on the live shows anymore with us, Martin. He just leaves us hanging out to dry. Didn't even consider coming on the live shows ever. He probably won't.
Very busy man. He's a very busy.
Very busy. Oh, he needs it. In fairness, he needs a day off.
He does. Yeah, we know he'll be watching some way. Probably just jump in. He does that sometimes, doesn't he?
He will get a few texts and I said, "You pricks."
Yeah, exactly. And so simply, Sanchez seems the type to lead him down a bad path.
Who's Sanchez? Who's he on about?
I don't know. Sometimes it's like cracking a code.
Is he on about Evan?
1, 2, 3. Maybe.
Is he thinking Sancho or something? Is that what he's? Because he might be.
Maybe, yes. I think that could be coming up later on. Good evening, lads. Keith Andrews needs patience. Avoid relegation would be a success. Parrott is flying. Edith struggling. Who will cover left back? Maybe time for Teo and Rowan to be looked at.
Yeah, I think Teo got man of the match for Leyton Orient the other day, and I seen someone saying that he thinks they're going to be their player of the season at Leyton Orient, which is a great start to life there. Actually, great to see you, because have you noticed that Dave has removed Aaron Connolly from Oibig?
Yes,
because he's playing in League One. Very harsh, but it was great to see him get his first goal the other day. It was a lovely finish, and Ollie O'Neill has really kicked on to start this season as well, which is great to see. A very good player with a lot of potential. He assisted Connolly's goal, and then he got the 97th-minute equaliser. Yeah. And actually, Corey O'Keefe got an assist for Stockport. So yeah, it was a good day for all them with Teo getting man of the match. So yeah, hopefully all them lads can really shine this season, because it's going to be hard to break in when they're like for Teo when he's in League One. But maybe if he establishes himself as the best left back/wing back in that league, he can go. And I've heard that Franco Uma will be going on loan to League One in the next couple of days.
Oh, right, okay. Declan here, he actually did say that. Nice to see Aaron Connolly scoring for Orient as well yesterday, even if he's well out of the Ireland picture at the moment. Yeah, brilliant to see him scoring, and a good lad, I think, overall. And we've seen some of the challenges he's had, and he's been very honest about that. So just want him playing, and you never know what's going to happen. Football would surprise you. There's some crazy kind of things happening. But yeah, definitely I want to get down to Orient to see them in action with obviously the Irish links there. So that's one of the plans. We're obviously going to Luton as well. We're going to try and get that one in, aren't we, Connor?
Yeah.
We're going to plan to get to a few games.
God love all the players who are going to see you rock up.
Yeah, exactly. Harrison D, does Heimer even watch the games rolling? Judging by his team selection, you'd think no. William Nevin, watch Sky Sports today. A little bit of a chat about what we were talking about earlier. I nearly fell asleep. Not exactly Super Sunday. Is it worth it anymore? Well, I mean, it's a lot of money, isn't it, now, Sky? But yeah, I mean, they've rebranded it all and
Do you
done
pay for it?
things. Of course I do. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Do you pay directly to Sky?
Yes, I do. Stupidly, but I should. Well, look, yeah, gotta be careful. What I say. Yeah, no. I do. Yeah, yeah, ridiculous. But yeah. But yeah, it's funny though the way they're kind of going, aren't they, with all the coverage? I see Stan Collymore was kind of critical, saying they're all like a little bit like what we do, I suppose. All like having fan shows and fans' opinions and things. So that's just the one.
For Talk Sport to that was he saying that on Talk Sport?
No, he was just he put a message up like on Twitter. Someone asked him about what do you think of this and where they're doing things now, and so yeah, that's what
I seen they brought back a Sunday supplement.
They did, yeah, which I think is quite good. Yeah,
it used to be all right, but Michael Delaney's on it, and he's a bit. I'm not wouldn't be the biggest fan of Michael Delaney.
Right. Here we go. He might have had Rolling Stone. He might have had others of his dentist team watching Ireland. And then just talking about Sky's coverage. Tell me about it, William. It feels like watching NLF, Americanized shite. Fuck's sake.
Do you mean would mean NFL?
NFL, he must be, yeah. Celtic Symphony. Here he is. McLean needs to start versus Hungary. He's fantastic at doing the same level you praise Azaz and Knight for.
Knight. Yeah, but just like it's like saying, like it's like comparing. I don't know. It's like comparing Mark Travers and Allison because what they both play at the same level doesn't mean they're like the same level of player. Like you can be a good player and still play at the same level and not be the nearest standard of the other person. Like
yeah. John Joe Patrick Finn played the King of Ballyhilness back.
Yeah,
there he is. Interesting spelling Celtic. I think Casey McAteer definitely needs to move from Leicester, says Declan. Yeah, we were talking about that a little bit. He needs to get minutes.
It's whether if Fatu stays, he needs to go. If Fatu goes, he'll stay and he'll be one of the best players. The thing is, if he's gonna be there and playing regularly, he will be one of the better players. Like because he finished last season really well and he had a really good preseason until Fatu came back. It was a pity. Just a pity.
And Gaelic edits. I think it's the first comment of him from the night. I thought Connor said Ike Razi would be banging the door of the squad. He hasn't even played, has he?
Does he mean? I don't know whether he means Naz Razi or Ike Razi.
Yeah,
because they're both. I didn't say anything about Naz Razi, but I think he needs to leave Como. I don't know what he's. It's like 1 month in Italy. That's there in Italy, and Ike. Yeah, I'm surprised Ike hasn't been on the bench for Stadron, but he did play for they call it N3 team, which they play in like a lower level in France, and he scored today. But yeah, he should be playing at their first team, to be honest with you. But I did notice that it's weird in League. What is it? Droit, you say in French, is that? The bench size is smaller. It's like you're like League 1 and League 2, where you're only like it's like 6 or 7 players on the bench. Once you go to like the Premier League, it's like 9 or 10. Even if you ever look at Italy, it's like 15 players on the bench. You see, that's why there's so many players in the squads, and there'll be players in the squad, and they'd literally be on the bench the whole season. They won't play a single minute of any game, but they've been on the bench every game. But yeah, I've looked at Ike. Well, I did say be a breakout player, but it doesn't mean they're going to be a breakout player on the first weekend of the season.
Okay. Jack O'Connor, Jadon Sancho is linked to Roma. Yeah, that's a bit of me. Remember his partnership with Haaland at Dortmund. He even made Fulkrug look great. And then Harrison D says, Sancho's a fantastic player, Jack. When a team is so poor, it's difficult to see who's actually doing it right. And Sancho always did at United. He went to Chelsea and Dortmund and smashed it.
Smashed it at Chelsea.
And I said, Evan will be rubbing his hands together playing with that lad. Celtic says, Sanchez and Ferguson are more pace in a Chesco self-checkout queue.
For fuck's sake.
Okay.
He is. But the thing is, Sancho he's obviously very talented and technically he's great, and he does lack a lot of pace. That's why he doesn't really succeed in England, and he kind of mentality at times goes to the dogs. But yeah, I think if he goes to Roma, I think actually he will do really, really well there, and I do think it'd be the type of player Evan would thrive off because obviously you see what was it, 20 assists he got in his last season at Dortmund. Obviously not the loan season before he went to United. He got 20 assists. I think he's talent wise, he's an outstanding player and he will do really well. I think if he goes to Rome, and Rome are building a really nice team, and it seems to be a really nice team that is going to fit Evan's strengths in terms of putting the ball in the right place for him and give him the chances to succeed, because I'm liking what they're doing under Gasperini. Like they're refusing to sell. I don't know if you've seen Manu Kone, their centre midfielder, Inter Milan. We want to sign him, but Roma are refusing any bids. So yeah, it's looking good for Roma for the season. It's just about Evan staying fit, and although I do see Dobbik is being linked to like Everton and Leeds and stuff, but Roma fans aren't actually too happy with Dobbik. I did see them saying, like, even when Ferguson came on for that 10 minutes against Everton when he was only back from that knock, they said Ferguson did more than 2 touches and Dobbik did the whole game. Supposedly Dobbik doesn't offer anything at all to the game. He must be just a decent finisher, but he does know, like, he can't really drop deep or pick up the ball or hold the ball up. So yeah, it's looking good for Evan being the main 9 there and kicking on then.
Yeah, well, hopefully, yeah, that's what we want to see. Right, Baylor, shame Ogbene is a bench player for Ipswich, even in the Championship. And Frank says, yeah, we need Ogbene playing. I mean, yeah, it's very early days, and he's come back from that really bad injury as well. But I think he will be dedicated.
The reason he didn't start, today is because he picked up a little knock when they played Bromley last week in the League Cup, and he started that, and he came off I don't know, it was just before the end of the game or something, and he picked up a little knock, and I think Kieran McKenna was just saying I was glad that it was nothing serious. But yeah, it's not, and I think that's why he didn't start today, because he was nursing a bit of a knock. But yeah, he started the first game of the season. He didn't start today. Wow, 1 game. Hopefully he starts next week. He's still building himself up to 100%, and the fact that he's even playing a lot of minutes is a positive thing. We all know how good he is. He looked bright when he came on today, so don't worry. It was actually good to see Leon Adiendi from ex-Cove Ramblers player and Cork City player on the bench today for Ipswich again. He was on the bench last week in the Cup. He probably would have hoped to get minutes in the Cup before Ipswich basically bottled it against Bromley, didn't they? They were about 1-0 down and they lost on penalties. So hopefully we might see him get a few minutes this season with them. Or I know he was on loan at Rochdale, I think it was last season. So hopefully if he doesn't play with them, he'll get a good loan move.
Yep, okay. Jason Fitzsimmons, big supporter of the show as usual. Will Max O'Leary get back playing when he is back from injury? I've seen their new keeper got man of the match yesterday.
Probably not. I don't think he will get back in.
No.
Yeah, Vitek, the United keeper, known. He was really good the first day against Sheffield United as well. He's absolutely massive. He must be like 6'7". He's really good from like crosses and claiming a bit. But I don't know how good his shot stopping is because we haven't really seen much of it. But it's more of his ability to claim crosses, and in the air, he's really, really good. He would have probably stopped that goal going into the fairness if he played goal for United, but Max O'Leary is going to struggle to get back in, to be honest, over him when he's back from injury, especially if he keeps playing well. Like, even though he's only a lone player, and lone players sometimes get shifted out because they're not a permanent player at the club. But I think he will struggle at back in. But I hope he does get back in.
Yeah. Okay. King Chalala. Egan is back playing.
Yeah, great to see. He played today. But I think that was a reference to being a Neubeck. He's probably
right. Yeah.
Not really on the radar for the senior team anymore, to be honest, which just with his age.
Declan said, lovely assist from Azaz for Borough yesterday.
Yeah.
And Rolling Stone, it doesn't matter how you pronounce his name, lads, McLean or McLean, he will be useless either way. Number 1, you think the 2 Irish Brentford lads were just unlucky today? Yeah, no. I think so.
No, they weren't that they were lucky. Forest were the better team. Like, it was just that I don't think that you couldn't blame Collins or Kelleher for like them losing. I just think they just got outclassed, really, the Brentford whole starting 11.
Yeah, I mean, Forest are a good side though, Where are we? Baylor. Surely we'll see Conor Coventry getting the next squad. He's playing so well so far in the Championship. BK then says, don't disrespect McLean or his brother.
His brother Paddy's playing some stuff in the League of Ireland. God knows how he didn't get nominated for Player of the Month in chat in the Premier Division last month, and he was on the receiving end of the worst red card of all time, which I've spoken about last week, which is really bad. But I don't like Conor Coventry as well, because the reality is, if you look at our Lumbie played well the other day. Actually, when you look at our midfield, the sorts of automatics at this stage is Cullen, Knight, Zaz, Taylor, Smallbones decides that he's not play football ever again. But once he's playing, he will come into the squad, even if he's not even playing, he's just fit. And then you think maybe Lumbie probably there. We want Boston to be there. I think we'd rather Boston be there than Conor Coventry, to be honest, because Conor Coventry is just he's more of a holding midfielder. He's probably trying to dictate play, which we don't really need. We're not in desperate need. Whereas Boston offers us something different. So it could be like that. Boston mightn't even be selected for September because it's so early and he's playing centre half, because we do have options there, and he kind of hasn't had the chance to really show he's at level above yet. But I don't think Conor Coventry will get in the squad, to be honest.
Yeah, no, it'd be interesting to obviously see that. Connor, how is Joe Hodge playing in Portugal? You said he was playing as a number 10.
Yeah, he didn't play as a 10 yesterday, actually, which is interesting. He played 10 as the first game. He played deeper yesterday. I think he done all right from just looking at stuff online. And because the thing is, Tondela don't seem to have any fans, to be honest. When you look at comments of teams of players, and it's usually all comments saying this fella's useless, this fella's useless, this player is good. They don't. No one comments on anything of theirs, so I don't know what the situation is, what level, how well he actually done. Because I've only seen the first game, but I'd say he done all right. He played 87 minutes. They lost 1-0, which is a bit of a pity, but yeah, he's only settling in as well, so hopefully he continues to kick on.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we just want to play, don't we, these lads? Rolling Stone said actually on Joe Hodge, if Joe Hodge gets some lengthening surgery, we might be able to call him. He needs at least another foot added to him. He should call up Mandy. She would be able to fix him up.
Tell you what, if Joe Hodge was like 5 inches taller, he'd be one of the best midfielders about. Be unbelievable, but he's already a great player. Like,
then we're just chatting about. Oh, sorry, I missed this one. Downtown 123. Maybe time to pick Key of Swansea and Barry of Sheffield United.
Josh Key, I don't know about that. No, doesn't really seem to do enough to get called up.
Yeah,
and Louis Barry, he's in with a shout.
He's going to be in with a shout, isn't he? Martin Fitzpatrick, again, big shout out to you, regular viewer of the show. Bad start for Brentford. Sorry to see that. Yeah, I think like even some of the feedback, you will have some people, as I said earlier, who would be kind of delighted and want Andrews to fail, but ultimately, I want him to do well because I want Collins and Kelleher obviously to do well as well. So, William Nevin worried about Fessi's development. He needs to leave Turkey, maybe Germany, to develop. Apart from Parrott and Ferguson, he is our best young talent.
It's a bullshit. So it was not. I wouldn't read that. It was a good boat. It's not usually people would say that about Fessi, but yeah, I can understand why he wanted to leave Turkey after the way not played in the Conference League. But hopefully today is a sign of him building on. And supposedly he absolutely loves living in Turkey. He loves the lifestyle that it is in Turkey, and Istanbul is meant to be lovely and he loves it there. So I don't think he wants to leave. I think he wants to really become established there anyway for the time being.
Yeah. Okay. Then this is TK, just address him by his government name, Louis Barry of Sheffield, on loan from Aston Villa, please, and thank you, Downtown 123. Aaron Gubbins, sorry. Well, lads, great to listen to you as always, and I'll be subscribing to your Plus channel tonight. I presume it's an easy process to subscribe. Also, is there any news on Obafemi Media Forgotten Man? So the key part of that message, Connor, is it easy to subscribe? How do people do that?
Yeah, it's so easy. There's a link in the description, or if you're watching on your laptop or something, it should say join beside the name on the channel. Sometimes on the phone it doesn't say it, but yeah, there's a link in the description if you want to join Roar Plus, and it'll take you to it. And usually it's a click of a button and you're in, and you just put in your card or use like Apple Pay, which is always handy, and you can do that through that.
And that's your extra content. So that's not this show, of course. This is always free. It's the extra content, our State of Play, where we catch up of general chat about the ongoings of football around the world. We'll have a bit of crack with that, of course. And then we have our Raw Retro and lots of other little bits as well. So just exclusive content just for the Raw faithful who have subscribed to Raw Plus. So thank you again to everyone who's done so, because it really does help us grow the channel. So yeah, do get involved. If you've not yet done it, make sure you subscribe here. Have a little look at some of our free episodes. We have shown what we're about and what we do on the extra channel. So Have a look at that, and obviously, if you like what you see, then just sign up to Raw Plus. Really does really helps us. Right, Rolling Stone joke. We've done that one. Winston Morrison says Teo. And then Aaron Gubbins, also great to see as a Clare man who lives very near Ennis. Brilliant to see Ben Line go to United's academy. Just played his last Gaelic football game at corner forward for Ayr Oak, and he scored 3-something. So, in an under 15 county final. And then TK says, hyping up a 15-year-old, give him a chance. So Gubbins, well, you say that, but you know these players are coming earlier now, and I know that I saw even. I mean, like Kai Rooney, he's been kind of fast tracked, isn't he, at Man United up into the under 18s. JJ Gabriel, he's another eligible Irish player, isn't he?
Yeah, but I don't know what the story is there.
Right,
father seems a bit of a lunatic. Who said that? But yeah, he's Irish eligible because obviously his dad played for Ireland, and then Jay McAvoy actually made his debut for United under 18s the other day as well. So there's an Irishman that's playing for that as well. So yeah, obviously that young lad Ben Lynn, he's still very young. And he was born in the Cayman Islands, and that's how he's able to get a British passport to move over. He was already playing for Wolves, so he must just have came back for the summer and was playing Gaelic while he was here for the summer. But yeah, obviously it's a good thing to have an Irishman at United, which is a big positive.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, these young lads now, 14, 15-year-olds, I mean, just physically, they're just jumping up and they're massive, and they're giving more of a shit now than I think I ever did when I was that age about just being, really fit, physical, like, preparing right for their football or whatever level they're playing. And it's just incredible. And that's why they're going over there. And I was reading an interesting thing about, I think it's Arsene Wenger's view on this of up to 14 is when 14, 15 is kind of, they have the technical kind of skills and everything, and then it's the physical stuff, and then it's a little bit older. Can they understand the tactical side of it? But you need to have the technical skill now, 14. But some of these players, it's frightening. Just the physical specimens of them, like their speed and everything, technical. And you see in England, especially, a lot of kids now go to these, technical workshop training things like 1-to-1s and things like that, and it's just frightening some of the skill level now. Crazy. I mean, we probably have seen a few of those naturally over the years. Damien Duff and Robbie Keane, street footballers. I think we saw it going away from that a little bit. Everyone was a bit more robotic, and now it seems to have come back again. Incredible. Did you see Yamal's goal for Barcelona?
He's the best player in the world.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? Like
17 and the best player, or 18 now actually, but 18 and the best player in the world is crazy.
Yeah, crazy, yeah. Yeah, that's it. Paul McGinley says Festi was the best player on the pitch in the first half versus England last November. Yeah, he was really, really good. Cult hero with the Irish fans as well. William Never Know says Festi's playing the Turkish Cup. Not exactly something that fills me with confidence about his future there.
Where's the league?
Yeah. Number one, do you think Evan will get decent playing time at Roma?
Yeah, I think it'd be the main number 9.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, exactly. And then just talking about Festi again, I'm still not convinced Turkey is the right place for him to develop. Ideally, a club like Dortmund, just in my opinion, says William Nevin. And then Harrison Z's brings that down to earth because Festi's not good enough for Dortmund. And then William says he is. So yeah, it's a strange one. A bit of debate obviously happening here. He wouldn't have had the move to a random team in Turkey if big clubs like Dortmund were after him. And do you think there's any chance of Festi? I mean, I know he loves Turkey, but is that possibly a move? Even thinking of
the thing is, I think the money you make at Istanbul Başakşehir is a lot more than you make at Dortmund, to be honest. Because people forget the tax in Turkey for football supposedly is ridiculously low. So you're basically just taking up everything you earn. So even if you're on slightly less money, overall you're making way more money with tax. So I don't know if he go to Dortmund as such, or is 22 or 23 too old for Dortmund to take a player these days. They want you when you're 18 or 19. That you're at that age where they can make the most amount of money off you. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if a team like Dortmund was his level, because he's a very talented player.
Okay, but you wouldn't think even a move though back to England or anything? No one's interested.
No, the team will be interested, but he's not going to. I think he's just not going to leave. I think he's happy where he is.
Okay.
I knew he only joined in January. Remember, like
he did. Yeah. William Nevin, I will agree to disagree. His physicality, speed make him a rare commodity. If not now, definitely in the future. I'm not a fanboy. Just see his competence. And William Nevin also says your agent sells you in football. Case in point, Joe Hart. And then this is an interesting one, Harrison D. That Gyökeres for Arsenal is shite, isn't he? Just only played one game.
He's played one game.
But I was glad to see him being shy. And that's just an interesting thing. I was going to make the point earlier because you said about a few players like putting up with cramp and stuff. It is really early in the season. And Roy Keane made the point of, which I thought was interesting as well, some of the bigger lads, a bit like him, just takes them a little bit more. You know, you kind of made the point looking at Sturridge saying, you know, you were light and you could kind of go straight in and be the player you were, more as some of the bigger players, like physically, it takes them a bit of time.
Remember, Gyökeres refused to train, didn't he? And he wouldn't go. He was choosing to train for a while, so it's not he's catching up, probably fitness wise as well. So it's a bit early to say that he is shy. But yeah, he was shy today. But I don't think overall he's shy.
And the other thing from that game today, not to go off topic, but like the amount of fouls in the first, like there was 14 fouls in it by Arsenal in the first 10, 15 minutes. And I thought the ref did really well on it, not to kind of give a card really silly, but Jesus, it was crazy then. And I knew the booking would come, but it was quite late when they were clever how they did it, like very tactically, like, you know, just years ago, they used to be proper battles, Man United and Arsenal, and there was no quarter given, but, you know, it reminded me a little bit of that today, but, But then I thought the ref let a lot go as well, like the physicality stuff, like all the wrestling and pulling shirts and Jesus, I mean, crazy. But I thought there was less of that rolling around stuff, which was quite good, I think, to see. Here's a suggestion from Aaron Gubbins again. Would you do a show on the Plus channel on players that underachieved, like the likes of Leo Connor, Afolabi, Regba? I remember watching them in that Toulon tournament. They were very good, among others.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion. Yeah, we will do that.
Yeah. We will have a chat about that, of course. Then William Nevin says, Aaron covers, I think Melia will succeed. These players you mentioned, their talent wasn't nurtured. Melia has matured at Pats. Harrison D. So will that manager select Lowell in his squad next month, or perhaps will he say it's too risky as he hasn't played yet, which was his decision not to play him?
That's an interesting point. It's like, will he take it? But I know John O'Shea is a massive fan, and Paddy McCarthy is as well, so maybe they could push for it a lot. I'd say if they get their way, but I think it's probably a 2% chance he starts against Hungary like the first game, or even Armenia, because it's going to be his kind of first squad is probably playing at the level that we think he's ready to come in. Even though I did say 2 years ago he should have been in the squad when he was tearing up for Fleetwood, and was I wrong? No.
Joe here says Collins to United. I like the image.
Seen that story earlier, didn't we, Pranty?
We did see that, yeah. I mean, look, view on that, I suppose, is, you know, top quality player, isn't he? But everyone's going to be looking at him.
It's kind of thing is, it's kind of thing. It's like, it's not really, nothing's going to happen this summer for him. Like, it's they're not going to sell him. Like, they actually will definitely be in a relegation race if they sell Collins. Like, he's their best defender. Like, I know he did get a lot of money for him, but no, it's ridiculous to think that they'd go anywhere this summer. But it's good that United are interested in him, because the way United play, they need a lot of defenders, and they probably need one more centre half.
And did Harry Maguire, has he extended his contract at United?
No, not yet. But I've seen a story that he's looking to do it. Yeah,
because he can go in January on the free, can't he?
Yeah, but he'll want to stay.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Okay. William Nevin, hopefully Azaz can get a sneaky move last minute.
Wouldn't be surprised, to be honest.
Yeah, I think this the Palace thing's the interesting one, isn't it? You know, it's as he moving to Tottenham. I think that was going to be Arsenal, wasn't it? Now it seems Tottenham seems to be in the driving seat there, and obviously Mark Gay as well. Because you see the footage of Mark Gay kind of walking away from the manager.
Yeah.
See that? Yeah, it was quite good. And that's where Roy was quite vocal. Jim Bear. How you doing, Jim? Thanks for watching along. Based on how Premier League seems like such a dead end for so many Irish players, do you believe more lads, since they can't play at academies due to Brexit until 18, will join other leagues instead? That does seem to be happening, doesn't it?
Yeah, or as all lads just stay at home and play regularly at home. Like I do think, like they do say about lads going playing in academies, but like lads like Mason Melia, Michael Noonan, like there's no real. I don't think there's much of a difference. Obviously, the facilities are better in England, and maybe they get better recovery and better treatment in terms of food and stuff. But they're going to be in when you're at a Pats or you're at a Rovers or you're at a Shells. You're in that full-time environment 5 days a week, playing with better players than you are playing with really at under 21 levels at academies. It's just the thing is when you get to 18 and if you don't develop as fast as what you probably should, or your body has matured, clubs abroad mightn't want to take you then because you haven't seen or they hasn't really done much in men's football, so it can kind of be a late thing. But like the likes like Mason Media, like I don't think his development would have been any more quicker if he went to the Spurs when he was 16, because he's been playing first team football since he's 15. Like, and he's been playing with the players he's playing with there are better than that, and he's in a winning environment of winning matches, and his body's going to develop and that thing. So, certain players, but if a player is not ready at 16, I do think it's worth going abroad. Like,
yeah, I think like it's men's football he's playing, and he's the experience of getting in Europe and week in week out League of Ireland, which is a good standard. So, he's gonna that's better than the playing under 23 or under 18s shite. You know what I mean? It's not showground stuff.
There's lads that going to Malmo, lads going to Matthew Morris actually scored for Hoffenheim under 19s yesterday, which is a good team. Like Jade Numa, I think is probably one of the best prospects, if not the best prospect in academy football from an Irish point of view. He's gone to Benfica and he's doing really well at Benfica. He's been moved up to 23s this season at 17. And like he's probably developed more than Rob, because he was obviously he was in first division with Cork last season, but I think he probably developed more by going to Benfica and going to that academy rather than being a Cork last season in the first division. So it just probably is a player by player thing. But if a player has the opportunity to play every week at a Rovers or Pats, I don't think he can turn that down.
No, exactly. Yeah. Aaron Gubbins, where will Obafemi end up? Do you think he'll move?
Oh yeah, he will move, but God knows where.
That's a move, wouldn't it?
I don't know actually. I don't know where he will go now.
Wasn't it about money? It was something about the money, wasn't there? Of
his agents wanted more money off Burnley or something.
Madness, yeah. But again, some of these agents, they do have such this influence, and they're busy now this next few weeks of fucking people's careers up half the time and trying to move people and getting favors and stuff. How that works, like I think I read that book a few years ago, The Secret Agent. It's just fucking mental. And obviously, another good read is The Secret Footballer. Is he became an agent, didn't he? And crazy stories what you kind of learn about football. Amazing. Where are we now? B stands for Beamish. Thanks for watching as usual. Boston for the Ballon d'Or. Tremendous player. Connor, great insights always. Martin, always a pleasure, never a chore. Where is this Dave character you speak of? Well, we don't know. No, we do know. Lennon Miller, very quiet yet again. Are we Rolling Stone? Time to start dreaming bigger. Believe in Big Ev and Boston. That's another comment there. And Frank, final comment of the night. Straight from America. I'd love to see Collins at United, but then I worry about Kelleher. Feels like he got dealt a raw deal with Thomas Frank leaving and all their star players. Much better transfer just a few months ago. Yeah, I mean, but early days, and I think he will do well there. And I think you got to give Keith Andrews time as well. I think so. We'll see how we get on. Right. Enjoyable show as usual. Thanks for the over 1,100 of you watching this evening. You'll be able to get this as well in the audio version, of course, via the links as usual on all our social media platforms. But thank you for your support and for your interaction. Again, the most interactive Irish football podcast out there. We love hearing from you, the Raw faithful. And again, a very special thank you to those of you who have subscribed to Lansdowne Raw Plus. That's our subscription channel where you get extra content, extra shows. A bit of crack there with us. We do pre-records of those, and they're good fun, and also a little bit of Irish history.
We'll start doing. We will start doing streams soon from members only.
Oh, of course, we will. Yeah, it's just obviously we're a little bit in holiday mode still, and getting back from the.
Because I'm heading away next week, and Dave's in Ireland, and Martin's only just back. So we're going to be. I'll be more orange than you coming back next week. But yeah, Aaron's actually put a good comment there. We'll be talking to any opposition channels for the World Cup qualifiers. Actually, I have one planned already for Hungary, so it won't be a channel, but it's a high-profile Hungarian journalist. So we will be doing for a preview and to Hungary anyway. We'll obviously try out to others like Armenia and Portugal, but it's just about getting someone. I don't know anyone personally in Armenia. It'll be a bit of searching on social media to try and get someone, but Yeah, so there will be definitely been not Aaron.
Again, and just to kind of emphasize what we do here on the channel, we do this for the love of Irish football, of course, but it's by the fans, for the fans. We love your interaction. We'll be off to the games with a lot of you, I'm sure. We love meeting the Raw faithful on our travels, but we will do previews, squad announcement shows. We obviously cover the games as well from inside the stadium, go to the press conferences to get the content out to you of what you want to see. So it's a big challenge, obviously, doing that. Massive commitment from us, but we love doing it and love hearing your feedback as well. So thanks again to everyone for watching and supporting the pod. It does mean the world to us, as I've said. And have a great week. Keep watching the lads in Europe. Follow Connor at Rep Tracker to find out how the boys are getting on in his Boston and Finazaz obsession. Is Kalamodada in action this week?
Yeah, championship qualifiers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so
Carabag.
It's all good. The Irish lads are in action, and we'll be following them, of course. But just want to say, as usual, thanks for your support. All right, that's over and out. Thanks very much. We'll see you soon.